Better have a fine reason for carrying that thing.
Red Dead Online is a game that is currently lost in the large world of its own potential. This is a game that looks like it gives the players a lot of choice and a lot of freedom, but after you've played it for hours and hours, you realize that there's not a lot of content here, and it seems like Rockstar is doing that on purpose. Over the course of the last year, Rockstar has released different trades for players to do and some other things here and there, but it's still missing a lot of what made the original Red Dead Online so attractive. You see, after you've come close to maxing out the ranks of your trades or you've done them a lot, the gameplay loop just seems too repetitive, and the last thing that players can do once they reach the end of these trade routes is to become griefers. And currently, the way the servers are set up, it mixes people with different aim preferences, which does not end in a good PvP experience. Let's take a step back though, because I do believe that Red Dead Online has a lot of colors and so much potential ahead of it. I just question where the decisions are going. When we look back to the first Red Dead Online, they did something that made the players always want to go back and play because there was something always to do in the world. You see, Red Dead Online originally had gang hideouts that you could always attack, and they are present in this new Red Dead Online, but you almost have to always look for it. The players have no idea where it's going to go, so it leads you on a journey where you're just waiting to do things, and that's the major problem that Rockstar has right now with Red Dead Online. The player is constantly waiting to do something. Either you're waiting to look at the bounty board after you've traded in a bounty, or you've done too many collector's roll, or you're waiting for cribs to pack and unpack your camp, which is a frustrating experience, and that shouldn't be how we play Red Dead Online. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you're playing as a cowboy or an outlaw, and they're not leaning into that. My first example is when you're playing online, even with the NPCs, you can't rob them. In the single player, you can walk up and hold your gun and press the appropriate button and you can rob them, which is cool. Or even there's passenger trains in single player that you can go to and stop and rob the passengers on there. And I don't understand why in the online component where you can create your own posse, why can't you go to a passenger train and just rob it? There's a random supply train, but it's the same train going all over the map and there's no point to picking it up. And this is what really starts to make my skin itch, because online I want to do other things that I could also do in single player, but with other friends. How fun would it be to get you and your posse together and just rob a train? Or even better, you go into a random town like Valentine's or Saint Denis or Rhodes and you can rob the bank together and almost plan what looks like a GTA Online heist. And in that lies the next problem. You see, Rockstar is split between keeping GTA Online alive and Red Dead Online alive. You cannot tell me right now that GTA Online does not have more support and constant updates than Red Dead. It seems that every week there's a new thing coming up in GTA Online, and in Red Dead, you're just turning in the same bounties over and over again. And I know there's probably a lot more money in GTA Online right now, but it kind of puts Red Dead in a weird spot. The drip feed for Red Dead Online right now is extremely frustrating, and there doesn't seem to be quality content coming, and we don't really have a roadmap. I want to be able to do things like rob banks and trains and do gang attack hideouts whenever I want with my posse, but it's not possible because there's just not enough to do in Red Dead. There's just too much waiting, like I've been saying. What Rockstar should be doing right now with Red Dead Online is letting their players decide if they want to become outlaws or not. I mean, for Christ's sake, there's already an outlaw pass that you can buy for gold bars, but that's just to reward you with different cosmetics and things based on roles that are already there. It could easily just be you and your posse, or just you if you want to, can become an infamous outlaw, and that can change the way that the world interacts with you. Case in point, if you're an outlaw, you shouldn't be able to do bounty targets, but on the other hand, you should let outlaws be able to do things that bounty hunters cannot. You can even go as far and let other players work with the sheriff departments if they don't want to be outlaws, and they can even become deputies. This can work hand in hand with the current system. Let's take a look at the camps. The camps, for the most part, doesn't really serve that much of a purpose. Yes, you can go cook your food in there and upgrade your stamina cores and deliver things and hope to God that Crips doesn't pack you up, but there's not really much for the player to do there other than pet your dog. If your camp had other NPC followers that you can recruit from the world based on your status as either an outlaw, sheriff, whatever it's going to be, it can give more reason for players to do things in the game, more persistence, more random encounters like this. Imagine that you have an outlaw camp and you're playing as a sheriff or a deputy. You should be able to attack another player's camp and fight off some of their NPCs and capture something. There could even give you a bounty mission, say, hey, go capture another player's NPC from their camp. They're worth X amount of dollars. That would really help us. And you have this constant power struggle between player and player. That is more in-depth gameplay than what we have. And for the players that don't want to do this, you give them other type of events that are always in the world. There's no reason why the gang hideouts should be randomly hidden and not pop up in the map. Your map is so huge, and online there's not much in between. And in between there should be animals that you can hunt, but right now we obviously know that there's some glitch going on with the animals not spawning. But it still brings me to another point, is why am I hunting these animals? Just to get the different cores and do my pelts and bring them back to my camp so I can work up my trade route? There's no point in doing that for me right now, especially if I'm getting close to the max on that and already have my wagon and I've already bought things. There's no reason for me to constantly go out and hunt. There should be more things that you can do with the pelts or the bones that you're creating. I'm not looking for Rust style gameplay on here, but there should be better reasons for hunting. And one of the biggest things weighing on my mind when playing Red Dead Online is the different aim styles. You could play with full assisted aim, semi-assisted, or free aim. And Rockstar did a lot to change up free aim in this game, especially post-launch. They changed up the way the weighting works while you're aiming when using free aim. So when we're talking about PvP, players that are just using the full assisted aim, it's not that high of a skill ceiling, so even your PvP becomes repetitive. So if Rockstar kind of just doubled down and did more work on the free aim or semi-assisted free aim and really hit hard on their controls and made them a viable option for everyone, you can make your whole instance kind of free aim. And I know that they're trying to do this. My evidence is, if you look at the series playlist, every now and then, it seems every single week, they have some new free aim lobby, and it's challenging players to go into it. It seems like Red Dead is kind of dipping their toe in the water to really see if people care about free aim. And I'm not trying to incite some big argument or discussion about the different aim styles, but every game should have one aim style, and that aim style should make sense for the game that you are playing. My argument for a one-style shooting, and it should probably be free aim, is because of the Deadeye of this game. If free aim was more robust and it felt better while aiming, you shouldn't have to use an auto-aim mechanic because your character has access to Deadeye. If everyone out there is using aim-assisted aim right now, how often do you really use Deadeye? Be honest with me. And that's my point. If you have everyone kind of using a better version of free aim, the Deadeye meter would feel more satisfying when you have to use it. And going back to some of the outlaw and sheriff and deputy things, imagine you're playing as an outlaw and you get captured by an NPC or a player, or you're delivered to the sheriff's holding and you're put in jail, which is something I haven't really seen in online, but I digress. Imagine now it creates a random instance where your posse can either break you out of jail or save you from the execution. It saves you from the gallows. It gives the other players an option to do other things to either help you out, hinder you, or make sure you get executed. Ultimately, players need more things to do in Red Dead Online that doesn't turn into griefing. Rockstar currently is just catering to the lowest common denominator, and they're always looking for more players. They're always giving gold bars for a newbie, or hey, start your bounty hunting journey, or become a trader now. We've already become traders and moonshiners and bounties. There needs to be more on the road for tomorrow. There needs to be a lot more things I could do in your world. I want to always be able to go to different gang attacks. I want there to be trains to rob and banks to get or different heists to do. I want a reason for playing. I want a reason to go into a posse and do other things, because right now, if the game stays as it is, it's just going to constantly burn off and players are just going to fall off. Or worse yet, someone else is just going to step up in the Western genre and take over what Rockstar is trying to do with Red Dead Online. Well, that's it. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future for Red Dead Online. I don't know if they're just going to slow drip feed us the content that they've been doing in such a way that it pisses us off and we move on to other games. But I really do appreciate the current world that we have. It is fun to be a bounty hunter and get some bounties and whatnot, but it does make you want more. It doesn't scratch the itch that you want to do online. There needs to be a lot more, and there's so much potential. So what do you guys think? What do you think we're going to get for Red Dead Online? And if you're a veteran player, do you still log in? And if you're a new player, why haven't you gotten your bounty hunter license yet and your trader license? It doesn't make sense. Are you still waiting for Rockstar to do a promotion? Other than that, thank you for watching. I'm Rob from DLC. Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe if you're new. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.